I've been playing a little bit of Noire. You guys heard of this game?
Noire.
Yeah.
I think I went to high school with a girl named Noire.
Oh, okay. Well, no crass comments will be made, but no, I've been playing some LA Noire.
I set him up and you ignore him, DJ.
Yeah, there you go. Story of your life. But yeah, so Randy talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I'm finally just now getting into it. Rockstar's sort of noir crime. God, my mouth is not working today. Their noir crime game.
Well, it's kind of a weird word, noir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Trying to help you out.
But it's been interesting. I kind of have mixed reactions to it. So first of all, I immediately switched it into. They've got this black and white mode that makes it look much more like a vintage, like 1950s,
like a film noir
TV serial or movie. Yeah. Right. What he said. And it's cool. It's very surprisingly effective, and you can tell they've done some tweaks to the graphics engine to sort of, I guess, make it look a little. It's not just a straight transition from color to black and white. You can tell they put a little more lighting on, like characters' faces during the interviews, and when you're driving around the road, looks a little different. Like just so you can, it's a little easier to see. So that was really cool. It really makes you feel like you're in, like an old movie or something. I sort of wish they had gone into it with this as like kind of a headlining feature, though, because I think that could have been really cool if they had sort of promoted it as this game that you play, and it's supposed to really recreate that feeling.
Yeah, maybe it would have been cool if that was actually the default setting, and then you had to like change it to color. That might have been kind of cool.
Oh, there you go. Or you like play it through in black and white, and then once you finish it, you unlock the color.
Yeah, something like that. That might be kind of cool.
Yeah, but anyway, it's props to them for even including this, because it's kind of a nice, just another example of Rockstar's crazy attention to detail.
Oh, yeah, totally. And you don't have to.
Just,
you can do it.
Throwing the presentation away.
You can do it anywhere you want. You don't have to, go back to the main menu or anything like that. And it doesn't sort of corrupt your saves or anything. I mean, it.
Oh yeah, no, it's just a toggle.
Yeah, just a toggle. Swap it on and off, and go back to your game, and it's on or off. So yeah, it's. I thought it was cool. I played with it briefly on. And I found it unusual, so I put it back to color.
This is unusual.
This is unusual. I like black and white movies. I'm okay with black and white. But I, for some reason, did not want it in my LA Noire. So,
yeah, I'm seeing how long, like, if there'll be a point where I just snap and be like, "Oh, I can't take it anymore. give me the color." There've been a couple times where, like, you can tell that it was sort of an afterthought, where you'll go up to a building or something, and it's like, you can go into any building with a gold-colored doorknob. It's like, oh, really? Well, I can't tell which ones those are. Or your partner's like, oh, check out the bloodstains over here. I'm like squinting at the dark pavement and like, whatever you say.
Blotches on the ground.
I wish they had done a little, put a little more care into stuff like that.
Do only blood and doorknobs in color. Everything else black and white.
Exactly. It'll be like sort of a Sin City thing.
Right, exactly.
Other than that, I mentioned I had sort of mixed feelings about it. So loving the aesthetics and the old timey music and graphics and all that, but I find first of all, I'm not sure if I should fully comment on the interviews at this point, because I'm still kind of wrapping my head around, I guess, how to play them, because it's so different than any other game out there, where you have to like doubt people or accuse them of lying and be able to back it up and all that. Exactly. So those are okay. I'm still kind of, testing the waters on those. But what was sort of dismaying to me was all the action segments where you're like chasing some guy through an alley, or what else is there? Getting into a shootout.
Yeah, I've heard the shootout or the shooting mechanics leave a lot to be desired.
Well, it feels a lot like your typical Rockstar shooting mechanics, like you see in GTA or Red Dead.
So then they definitely leave a lot to be desired.
I think, right. I think it's just because there's been so much emphasis in this game on the non-action parts, like the interviewing and just the sort of look and feel of it. It's just so disappointing when you come into one of these action segments, and it's like hitting a brick wall of repeated kind of fail states where you'll run down this corner and get shot and have to start over from a checkpoint, or the guy you're chasing will get away because you couldn't figure out exactly which part of the building he climbed up or jumped off of. And it just makes me it's made me reflect back on Rockstar's games this generation, and I think the conclusion I've come to is that they're definitely better at creating these experiences than they are at making a really tight and functioning game. Like a lot of people. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think I would mostly agree with that. I think I'm inclined to overlook some of that hamminess because I think everything else, the experiential part of it, to use your sort of labeling system, I think is strong. I think certainly things like Red Dead and GTA 4 and this create a mood and a place and a time, and the characters are very sort of rich and identifiable. And I think all of that makes it slightly easier to sort of forgive kind of the hamminess of the combat and things like that. Mm-hmm. I think it almost becomes in LA Noire something that is unintentionally and disappointingly funny. And that sort of like, if there's somebody sort of on a corner and he's your guy, that as you approach, he's going to book and run. And it's going to be sort of a foot chase over rooftops and blah, blah, blah. And the first couple of times it's really fun and very sort of fast-paced and visceral. But like the 15th guy you're chasing through alleys where you're sort of like, why does everybody run? Just stop.
Stop in the name of the law.
I think it ultimately detracts from, I think, sort of the energy that they're trying to create. I do think it does sort of cheapen the product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, cut them a little slack because obviously the action stuff is sort of supplemental to the storyline missions.
Well, it makes you wonder why they had it at all then.
Well, I figure it's to appease the people who thought they were going to play like GTA 1940s LA or whatever.
Yeah, but would those people enjoy the adventure game aspects of it? I mean, it seems kind of like you're trying to please everybody and then kind of not pleasing a certain segment of your customer base. Just seems kind of weird.
Yeah, I think it would be a harder sell, and that's why when I was thinking like, I wish they had gone, full 1950s, kind of black and white, even put an audio filter on it or something so it sounds all tinny, or just make a full commitment to it. I think it may have, it definitely would have been a tougher sell to a lot of people.
Oh, sure.
I'm sure they spent tons and tons of cash on this, so.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories about that game being in development hell, so, maybe you're right.
There's been a lot of stuff sort of coming out recently about what that process was like, and I was just reading today why, somebody had said that the city doesn't feel sort of terribly alive. It's very good looking, but there's not a lot sort of happening as you drive around. And they said that because they really only had one person sort of working on that part of the game.
Really?
Lots of overtime for that poor bastard.
Yeah, well, and that position was empty for something like 2.5 years before they finally dropped somebody. Yeah, just like the whole thing has been very sort of chaotic. So
it's crazy that a game of that quality even came out at all.
Yeah. Well, I think the Rockstar sort of dropped a lot of stuff on them at weird times, and that's what it's starting to sound like, is that Team Bondi had this very cool idea for how to create sort of a game where you sort of search crime scenes and interrogate witnesses and suspects and stuff like that. And it seems like sort of the Rockstar influence was, well, that's just a point-and-click adventure game, so let's put car driving and gun shooting in it. So you end up with sort of two halves of two complete experiences. It doesn't quite mesh in a way that's elegant, unfortunately. I don't know how much of that is true. A lot of that is sort of supposition that's been sort of leaked out in little, I heard from a friend kind of stories on the internet. But it's really disappointing because the game, I think, is beautiful and is, fun at its heart, but it does have these weird little sort of experience-breaking flaws.
Well, I know that Rockstar has said they will never publish a Team Bondi game ever again or something like that. So there's obviously there's a mess behind the scenes, so it might be just anything short of a miracle that a game of this quality came out after this mess.
It's definitely a cool experience. I think I'll probably overlook all the optional action side quests when I go back to it and stick with the interviewing, because that's been very strong so far.
Yeah, are you good at it? I was never good at it. I was really
I'm
bad.
Horrible at it.
Yeah, me too.